The continuation of my project of putting mini splits on an interior wall. I put a mini split on each side of an interior wall. And what we're going to do is I'm going to try to get some light down here right now on this hole. Hard to, alright, you can see down that hole, okay, right there, you've got a drain line coming out of the one on the right and copper lines, and on the one on the left you got drain lines. You got drain lines and electric line, drain line, electric line. The drain line and electric line I took down outside through the wall inside the house. But these refrigerant lines, I'll show you on the outside. I gotta get this down. Right there is where two sets of lines went through one hole. That one in the middle is the old air conditioning line. That's a dinosaur. It doesn't work anymore. It's been cut outside, so it's in-op. It's there for looks. But I had to route my stuff through there and back to the hole. Now I'm up here this morning. Everything works. The system is pressurized. I tested it. It's all wired outside. Outside and inside I have to do this job. And this job today consists of wrapping these copper lines as best I can and insulating them. They should be insulated from each other, the big and the little. And I have to close up that hole, and I bought a big bag of just insulation, and I want to stuff that insulation in that hole. But we're on an interior wall. We're not going to lose a lot. What I worry about is these copper lines, getting them covered and insulated. And I have to do the same job on the outside. But I'm going to turn the camera off now, set it down, and I won't put you through the blood, sweat, and tears of what I got to go through to do this. I'm up here in the attic. But when I'm done, I'll take a picture of what I did and explain it to you. And then we'll go outside, because the same job has to be done outside. But, like I said, I proofed it. It works. Both inside units work. They're wired right. And they have refrigerant. And they're working. Beautiful. I can't wait to get this all covered up so I can turn them on. Turning them on now would be a waste because they're not insulated, especially outside. Okay, gonna stop now. Okay, I promised I'd make a video when I was done. I'm done. I've got those well wrapped. That hole you saw, I stuffed it with a whole bunch of insulation, fiberglass insulation. Those pipes are well wrapped individually from each other. Now, that's where they go through the wall outside. Now I'm going to go outside, and we got to do the job outside like here. This was 45 minutes to an hour of blood, sweat, and tears. Okay? I'm glad I don't have to come up here anymore. I'm done. Tout fini. I'm going to do a evac on my air conditioning system. I'm going to take you down in close here if you can see it. That bunch of the sun is in my eyes, so it's hard to focus, but that bunch of copper white runs right there are two sets of mini splits. One's on one wall, interior wall, the other one's on the opposite side of an interior wall. I took both copper sets of lines, ran them up through a plate between the walls into the ceiling, and then I came out, and if you look, I went into the attic, came out through the attic wall, and this is a 4-inch, that's a 4-inch line set cover. And if you look right there, I got 2 sets of lines coming out of that right there. So I was able, but what a time I had yesterday trying to bend all these lines and get them to fit. All these, this unit will deal with, or will service, or will accommodate 3 indoor units. I only use 2. The tech rep yesterday on the phone says there's enough refrigerant in this outside unit to carry 75 feet of inside line. And right now I've used about 30 feet, 31 feet. I only cut about a foot off these lines yesterday. No more than 2 feet off both sets of lines to make them match. So we're going to have about a 15-foot line set. So that's 30 feet of the 75 feet capacity. I could put another one later, but had hell of a time with the electric. I got it in there. But yesterday what I did, and I talked to Sam, the tech rep yesterday, and what I did is I isolated that one down there. I'm hooked to A. You have 3 sets, A, B, and C. Sam told me the biggest unit you should go on A, and that's it. And that's where I'm going to evacuate it. I evacuated both these sets of lines individually yesterday before I opened up the Allen screws. If you look, the Allen screw that connects A to the manifold, and the Allen screws for both the high and low pressure were in. So I wasn't connected to the manifold. The only thing I was evacuating were the lines on the inside. I did that on both, and they both checked out. They both held pressure for about 10-15 minutes, didn't budge. So today, what I'm going to do, I went to the bottom down here, and I've I'll back off. I've been using this traditionally. I got it off eBay. It's tapped off, teed off down here. If you look, that silver button is crossways. So right now, if I turned on the pump, no vacuum. But this gauge sees beyond that gate, and that gate right there is where the Schrader valve goes. I took the Schrader valve out, and I'm about to turn on my pump and set up this on a tripod, but I wanted to show you what I did over here. And as soon as I proof that this thing's worked, yesterday I have full confidence that when I do a evac test today that it's going to pass. And I've got both of these on both the high and low, A and B. I've got them backed off, the Allen wrenches. So that's what connects in common A, B, and the master manifold up here. The reason I didn't tap into here with my device is it's hard to get to, hard to manipulate. But what's going to happen is here in about a half an hour, 45 minutes after I run the pump and get a good, hopefully below 30 on the gauge vacuum, I'm going to turn everything off, and I'm going to wait about a half an hour, and if nothing budges, I'm going to turn it on again, get a really, really good vacuum. Then I'm going to turn everything off, and these 2 valves right here, you open them. I'm going to close this right here, close that. I might even close this right here. This has a valve on it. This gauge has a valve on it. There it's open. Here it's closed. I might just close everything off and not even use this and just use these gauges. Now, these are professional gauges. I think I picked these up at Goodwill. They're working. Everything seems to work. there's my pump right there. Last night I took and I changed the oil on the pump, so we've got fresh oil, service right up to the max, and that should give me the best chance of getting a really good vacuum. So we'll watch the gauge as we turn this on. And I have a tripod up here where I was going to set it up, but I might start just turn it on. Now, I'm going to turn this off so that we don't have any vacuum on the system. I'm going to leave this one shut off. We don't have any vacuum on the gauge. And then I'll open them up. I've got this open so that vacuum can go through this line, the center line right here, over to here. Okay? When you turn this one off, it eliminates the pump, but your meter is still hooked up into the system. So let's turn it on and see what happens. And it immediately, as you see, it went right to vacuum. Okay, it's right on vacuum, the lowest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off and make sure we got good lines down to that. I want to make sure we got good lines. Okay, if that needle doesn't budge here in the next minute or two, the line from here down to here is good. Okay, I'm going to leave that other one closed. And it's not budging, it's staying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this one. I've got this one closed. I'm going to open this one. Now, you see where the vacuum dropped off? Okay, now I'm going to turn it on. We're going to watch this thing go down. And hopefully within about 20 minutes we'll be down almost to 30. Almost to 30 on that scale, if you can see it. Okay, right down here. We want to be right there. We want to be almost touching the American flag there. Okay, let's turn it on. See what happens. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut this down, and I can, well, I'll sit here and watch it. It isn't hurting. But I will pause the camera. Okay, it's about 45 minutes later from the last time I left. I let it run for about 20 minutes, and then I shut it off. Then 15 minutes later I came back. It was 2.5. I don't know if you can see there, 2.5 in the pink. It was 2.5 when I left. I came back 15-20 minutes later, it was 2.5. So what I did is I turned the pump on again. It's been running for about 20-25 minutes. I can't get it much under 2.5 here. So what I'm going to do now, what the book says, what all the videos say to do is I'm going to shut this valve down here. Okay? Off that valve and open up the little high pressure valve, and I should have pressure. This should go from negative to pressure as soon as I crack that valve. We'll turn this off. We'll turn this off. We'll turn that off so we don't hurt when we release the pressure, we don't want to hurt the gauge. So here we go. Everything's off, 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 tight, tight, tight. Here we go. Now I'm going to open this up and we should see pressure, see? And now I'm going to shut it. and see if that pressure holds without dropping. We'll see if it stays. Right now it says and it doesn't look like it's dropping, so I'm going to open it all the way. Wow, that's a long-winded Allen screw. I hope you can see and hear me, but this is the 18,000 BTU unit on the inside. You see this is exposed. Well, that's because this panel right here has to go up here like that, okay? Unlike other units that I've had before, you have to disassemble this a little bit to get to the circuit board. And I found the most challenging part of the job for doing this installation was getting the electrical panel open. I really didn't understand the manual. I didn't understand that I had to remove this first. You remove that, but the first thing you do is come over here like this. She's open all the way, okay? This panel right here, if you don't take that plastic guard off, you're never going to get this panel open. And the way to get this panel open is you see that tab right there and this tab right here. You have to get a screwdriver or a knife under this tab and under this tab. And I don't have any tool on me to do it with. I might be able, I don't know, maybe I can. Alright, see? That's what it looks like. That's where I did all my wiring. And I did a good job. I did this for a living. I used to be in avionics on commercial airlines. So I was always doing this kind of work. And it runs, but like I said, the hardest part of this whole installation to me was finding out how to open up this panel. Okay, I'll close it. And this is kind of a trick because at the bottom of the panel, they've got these two little ears, or if you can see, I don't know if you can see this or not, but these right here have to fit into slots. They have to fit in the slots up here. I'll try to see if I can get them to go. You have to push them up and back. It has to be pushed up into place like that. I don't think I caught one here. Okay, there's a screw here, a screw here. I'll put those in later, but that's how it goes. Now, we take this, you have to fold this back. Nest pot. We're done. This thing works really, really good. I'm so happy with it because now I'm going to save a lot of electricity. It's going to be much quieter, and this room will have a dedicated, in the summer when I go to the bed at night, we'll have a dedicated room air conditioning. I can turn off all the other ones in the house, close that door if I want, and just cool this room overnight. I never had that option before. But I wanted to show you that electrical panel because that was a big challenge for me. Okay, I'm in the second bedroom now. This is overkill as far as the capacity of this. It's like This is only about 144, maybe 150 square feet at the most, this bedroom. And this unit right here will do about 500 square feet. This way I can keep the doors open in the house all summer long. I can keep all the doors and all the rooms open and just set every one. I have 3 of them now. I have one in the living room that's $24,000. This one is $9,000. The one that we just left in the bedroom is an $18,000. So that's 18, 9, and 24, 42, 51,000 BTUs of air conditioning power with 2 mini splits. Okay, one mini split is a dedicated 24,000 BTU. That's in the living room. I've had that in for about 4 or 5 years. Flawless operation. Silent, quiet, cheap, run. Well, I went out and got another one, this time a dual zone. So this is the second one of a dual zone that I bought from Senville. We were just in at the 18. The outside unit, which we'll go to in a few minutes, is a 28,000 BTU unit. So the 2 outside units, if you combine them, they're 48, 28, and 24, 52,000 BTU I have here at this house of cooling power with mini splits. It's way, way overkill. But I did the work myself. I probably saved $2,500. I paid for the unit. My labor paid for the unit because I've been now almost a month installing it. Up in the attic, outside, a lot of moves, a lot of labor intensive. But to tell you, this hole right here, I'll uncover it now because this was exploratory surgery right here. I didn't know where I was going to mount it, so I cut a hole here and I used it with my hand, and it helped me mount. The old metal plate that this sits on, because the metal plate sometimes it doesn't make it to both. We have 24-inch centers here. That metal plate doesn't make it to 24. Okay, so I had to back it with nuts here behind where, and I mounted it right on the middle of it. There's a stud. Well, there's no stud, but this hole right here, when I talked upstairs, these are my drain lines. These are the 2 electrical lines. Okay? What I did is I cut a hole here and I notched out this stud. This stud really isn't structural. What I'm going to do is I've got metal clips that I'm going to protect both of these hoses and these wires before I close that up with a drywall patch. And this whole wall might be covered with a mirror or some kind of artwork to cover up what I did here. But there it is. Works like a champ. Heats and cools. Is to bring you up to date on what I did here. These are the 2 drain lines, and the reason I routed them this way instead of routing them with the refrigerant lines is I had 2 sets of, there's the wires right here, 2 sets of wires. Why I didn't route the wires in the drain line with the refrigerant lines is I had 2 sets of refrigerant lines to go through one line set outside, you will see. And it would have been real crowded. So to keep the drain lines and plus the drain lines, the water would have had to go uphill because I went through the top plate. I went through the top plate up there and the water wouldn't have drained. So to keep the water gravity to carry it out of the house, I had to do this. Now I'm going to put metal clips. I've got metal clips to put over these to protect them. And I'm going to put a drywall patch over it. And I'm going to patch this right here But like I said, that was exploratory surgery. I had to cut that hole to see what I was going to do. But there it is. Works like a champ. About a month of work. This is probably the wrong time to do this, but because it's very windy out. But I'm going to try to finish up and show you all that bare copper tubing that was in the beginning of the video. That's all covered up. And as you look, you can see inside what I've done. Insulated pretty good. Here's my drain lines. Here's where I came through the wall. I worked on that. These are my two wires going to the inside units. I came to get a drain. There's a drain underneath here. I want to get my hands on that so I can get the right size for it. Right here. I got to go to Lowe's and get some tubing for my hot water heater. But if you can see, that's what I got. Did the inside, and then it comes out where we were up in the attic. That's where it comes out. That storm head up there. And like I said, there's two lines, but I didn't put wire or drainage line in with those because those are two sets for two different, there's 4 copper lines right there. I hope you can hear me because the wind's blowing and it might stop it. But I'll get out, take a picture of it, or a video, what it looks like. I'm on my way to Lowe's. But there it is. Runs really good, very quiet, quiet. Can't believe it. And everything works. I had trouble with the power wires. I didn't have them hooked up correctly. They're kind of difficult to hook up. I'll take care of those drain lines later. But that's where it comes out of the attic. And we were up in the attic. We were just up in the attic. And I'll make this my final presentation. But I took the old unit out and it took up a lot of space in here. I took that out and replaced it with the Senville. This is a 28,000 BTU and it feeds an 18,000 BTU in the master bedroom and a 9,000 BTU in the second bedroom. But it took me about 3 weeks to a month. I didn't work hard at it. We have cool weather here now, so I sometimes get late starts, but it does work. And one last thing, I'll go in and turn each one on. I'll pause this now. I'll turn these. Okay, we're in the second bedroom. Here's the remote. It's got all kinds of options. One thing I failed to mention, these mini splits, they send you a thumb drive for wireless so that you can run them with your cell phone. I have no intention of doing that. I really don't care. Don't have any need for it now. Maybe in the future, but right now, I'm here all the time. I can use the remote. This remote has a lot on it. The book is 4 or 5 pages thick with all kinds of options. All I care about is heating and cooling and controlling the fan. I usually run the fan at 20%. Heat or cool, I run it at 20%. But I'm going to push the on button. If you watch, I'll push this. And up here, last night I had them all in the house set at 70. I had this one set at 70 for heat. The one in the other room set at 70. And the one in the living room. They were all set at the same temperature. Now this right now, it's probably, even though it's on, it's not working. Because it's probably about 70 in this room right now. It's warm. So it's idling. It might be circulating. The fan might be running. As far as the air conditioning, maybe not. But I'm going to turn this one off. We'll go to the master bedroom. So here we go. You'll see the light go out when I push the yellow button. There. It's off. And this remote, you can set the temperature. Also with this remote, it has a follow me mode. If you hit the follow me mode, the thermostat for the controls the units in the remote. So wherever you go with the remote, the remote is the thermostat. Without that, and without follow me, the thermostat is up there in the unit. And I never use follow me. Another thing that I have no use for. I'm just trying to keep the house warm and cool. Now we've gone in the bedroom, and I'll get the other remote, and I'll show you this one coming on. Same way. And that might be set to 71. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the remote. There's the bedroom unit, the master. Push the button. I had it set at 71. So it's coming on. And you can set it to cool 71. And that'll show up on your remote. The remote will say 71. So I'll show you here. It should say 71 on the remote. And it does. You can select it. But we've got a lot of things. The fan. You can see on the left there on the bottom, top left, the fan. A lot of other stuff. I don't use it all at all. I could care less. Too many options. All I care about is heating and cooling. And it has a dehumidifier mode. If we were down south and it was real humid, we put it in when you put it in dehumidified, it slows the fan down to where the air stays on the coils a little longer, and it condenses water. The slower the air goes over the coils, the more condensation. So that's what happens in dehumidify, the way I understand it. But I'm going to turn it off because we're going to Lowe's. Got to get some stuff. See? Went off. Last night, now I'll go to the old one. And this one too can be Wi-Fi'd with your cell phone. Now we're going to the living room. And this one I put in about 4 or 5 years ago. Here's the remote, old style remote, don't have all the options that the new ones do. This may be Wi-Fi, I don't know, haven't checked or researched it, but push it on. And I've got that one set at 71. So last night, what I did was I had every room set at, this is 1,100 square feet. 2 bedrooms had it set at 71. I had this one at 71. I don't remember those blue lights being on, why they're on. Maybe I pushed something here that's not right. Let's see. I don't know. I don't remember those blue lights coming on. I might have something selected I shouldn't. Am I in follow me? No. I'll check it later. But that's 3 of them. An 1,100 square foot house. That's about 51,000 BTU inside and 52,000 BTU on the outside units. But I live on the Sundance Golf Course here in Arizona. That's Sundance Lake. This is a signature hole. But I'm very happy that this is up and working, and with no problems so far. All I got left is cosmetic work.